Hey, welcome back. This is Bryan Vogt with Ready, Set, Sold. Thanks so much for joining us this fine Saturday. We've been talking about how to choose a realtor. If you did come in late, you didn't miss it, just so you know, the show is on iTunes and Google Play and a podcast, so you can go back and listen to those segments. Quite frankly, probably at the end of the show, we're trying to get them on as soon as possible. So with that said, we talked about we're looking at how to choose a realtor, and we talked about the experience factor. We've kind of gone over the trust, how important questions are. Is your agent in tune to what you're trying to do? Also, if you use a family member, you know, it has some great rewards, but it also has some great risks. Make sure that everybody's on the same playing field. And now we're going to be talking about experience and why experience is so, in my professional opinion, so important. Again, you have a track to run on. So what does experienced agent look like, and do they have sales? And how many sales do they have? The more, the merrier. Again, how long they've been doing this. If they've sold, and just so you know, if they've been selling houses for any period of time, and hopefully the last 5 or 7 years, they've seen just about every market, and they're still in there. You know, many times, especially in the hot market, good or bad, agents kind of come out of the woodwork. Because, you know, it's a hotter market, they're going to have much more success versus the agents that have seen all the markets when maybe the market wasn't so hot and were able to have great production and be able to make sales in those markets too. So the years is really important. How long have you been doing this? Does that mean that a new agent can't do a good job? No, it doesn't. The problem is again, with your biggest investment, do you want to take that chance? Maybe you do, but we've seen situations where that turned out very, very badly from an inexperienced agent, that their intentions were good. They really were. They're very, very nice people. But again, we're in a results-oriented business, and it's just simple as that. And any realtor that's been in this business for a period of time knows that we have to produce. We have to be able to get your house sold for top dollar and fast sale. So experience becomes so much more critical when you understand that scenario, that you not only have sold in this current market, but even years past. And look, 5, 7, 10 years length of service is not a bad thing. Again, also the volume of homes. They've seen more houses in their marketplace. And so there are times where there is no sales in a particular market, in your subdivision, maybe on your street. You really want to rely on that experience factor, that they have sold a house in another location. I think last week we talked about the idea that builders will build the same house, even literally in different locations throughout the Metro East if it's a hot selling house. So they've sold that house. Again, every house is unique for where it sits at, but there can be so many similarities. And many a time, and agents have fantastic success because they've had the experience to know what this house is likely to sell, even if they didn't have all the numbers in the last 3 months or the last 4 months, be able to give you a professional opinion and have great success with it. So that becomes really, really super important of a track to run on. The other part about it answers a few questions. Number one, if they're having sales or having consistent sales and having lots of sales, that ranges, again, 20, 30, 40, 50. I mean, go up the year. That's not a bad number to be looking at, and 30 to 40 would be even an ideal situation. The reason for that is it shows that they have the marketing. Again, that's always a concern many times of sellers, but do they have a track to run on? That usually answers, again, as a seller, you can always ask and see what their plan is, and they should be able to explain to you what that is. But it's a good idea that they're going to have a great experience as far as marketing your home. And that's a big relief to most sellers. So again, having that experience kind of gives you an insight that this is going to work out. Also, they've been able to make other people successful. Ideally, that's the plan. If they've had those sales, they've been able to make other people happy. And that's, I know it sounds like common sense, but sometimes sellers, I think on one level understand that, but sometimes they tend to forget. But if you've had those type of sales, and consistently, that you've had some success, and there's a reason why they had success, that they're good at what they do, and that's really important. So when you have that in mind, when you have the 4 factors we talked about is the trust, the listening, how important that is. We talked about in the second segment. And also family members. We talked about how to deal with family members. And that can be kind of sensitive, and I get that. But again, hopefully the family member, if it doesn't work out, that's not the choice you make, that they understand the reasons too, and they want what's best for you too. It's been said that, are they really a friend if the only reason why they're a friend is if you use them or use their services, or if you do what they say. So that's something else to keep in mind too. And I understand it can be touchy, but when you're dealing with this much on the line, I think it's sometimes maybe a few hurt feelings for a short period of time can work out better. And then also the experience factor and how huge that really is. I don't know if there's one thing, if you really had to base it on, is the experience. And then again, do they have testimonials? Do they have people that they can just show you and say, hey, this is what they're saying about me? And that's a big thing too. I mean, testimonials can be really huge. It lets you know that they've had not only the experience, but they've had a great experience. So those are the 4 things that you really kind of wanted to really focus on. There's also some other things though, just some other tips I want to throw out to you. And that is when you first contact the agent, as far as making a decision. Look, technology has changed so much, and whether that's email, whether it's possibly a text, or maybe the old-fashioned way of picking up the phone, which we still see a lot of sellers do. What's their response time? I mean, again, they have an opportunity to service you, and how quickly are they responding back to you? That's going to tell you a lot in the very beginning. If they're taking 24 hours, which, no offense, back when the landlines was the only way you communicated, that might be an option. But now with technology, that time should be usually shortened down into hours, maybe even an hour. So keep that in mind. So that's one tip I wanted to throw out there to you that can kind of tell you how the rest of the situation is going to go. So if they're not willing to jump in action to see you and to do business with you, once they list the house, how much are they going to be doing? We've heard sellers say that was one of the first things that they thought of. They didn't understand why it took so long to get a hold of them, and it didn't turn out so well. So that could be a factor, not always as everything, but it could be a factor. Hey, get the book. You can like us on Facebook, Ready Set Sold, Bryan Vogt, or just go get the book. It's absolutely free at readysetsold.org, not .com, readysetsold.org.com. Hey, get ready for the $5,000 tip of the week. See you in a few.